Witajcie moi drodzy, przy mikrofonie jest zwykle Wiking, a wy oglądacie Fallout New Vegas. Jak widzicie, ostatnim razem zabiliśmy tutaj ścigacza, zakończyliśmy rządy bestii w krypcie numer 3. No i podążamy sobie tropem zadań dla Camp McCarran. Przy okazji też powitać chciałem kolejną osobę, która tutaj do nas dołączyła. Jest już nas tutaj 75, za co wam serdecznie dziękuję. Mam nadzieję, że bawicie się dobrze. Wyjmijmy broń, bo tutaj różne cuda lubią się dziać. Teraz nie wiem, czy ja go zabiłem, czy Boone go zabił. No ale dobra. W tych ruinkach coś będzie? Nie, w tych ruinkach nic nie będzie. Poczyśćmy tu trochę, skoro już tutaj. Ciekawe miejsce się zapowiada. Dobrze, że zapytałeś. Neony zap. O, naprawy i la fantoma. Nie wiem, czy to jeszcze będzie mi do czegokolwiek potrzebne, no ale... No, świetnie. Super, super, super. Nie mam pytań ja żadnych. Rozrywkowo to załatwiliśmy. Nienawidzę hakowania w tych grach. Serio. No... No przecież jest na poziomie łatwym, to powinno pójść o wiele prościej. No, w końcu. Co tutaj będziemy mieli? McMurray, projekt neonów, stacja Factory Foreman. Faktura za dostawę. Firma, materiał budowlany i ogrodnicze Everta. Kontakt Scott Evert. Ilość 3. Wymiary ramy 365,76 na 348,52 na 61,45. Lampy wewnętrzne 26, zewnętrzne 14. Opis znak jednostronny, biało-czerwony, czcionka typu sans serif. W górnym wersie napisano materiały na czerwonym tle, dużą czcionką w wierszu drugim i trzecim. Napisano budowlane i ogrodnicze na białym tle, wszystko wielkimi literami. W czwartym wierszu na czerwonym tle znajduje się słowo Everta, małą czcionką wielkimi literami. Firma Kingsman Barbecue, Felix Weaver. Wewnętrzne 38, zewnętrzne 23. Opis znak dwustronny, kolory czarny, brązowy i biały, czcionka typu sans serif. W górnym wersie na czarnym tle napisano Kingmans, małą czcionką i wielkimi literami, poniżej w pionie napisano barbecue. Na brązowym tle dużą czcionką wielkimi literami, białe obramowanie, strzałki. Coś tu jeszcze, raport z wypadków. Zdarzenie, stłuczone szkło. Dziś Kevin opuścił jedno ze szklanych rurek. Potłuczone szkło mocno go zraniło. Na szczęście nie ucierpiał nikt inny. Opatrzyłem mu rękę i kazałem posprzątać, zanim pójdzie do domu. Jeszcze jeden taki wypadek i go zwolnił. Dzieciak jest strasznym pechowcem. Zdarzenie, winda. Znów zepsuła się jedna z wind w górnym doku załadunkowym. Niestety w środku był Jonathan czekający na rozładunek. Nagłe zatrzymanie spowodowało, że jeden ze znaków ześliznął się z palety i złamał mu nogę. Nie będzie go w pracy przynajmniej miesiąc. No, wypadki po ludziach chodzą. Kocie oko się przyda w ramach noktowizora. Trochę na odwrót Everts miało być na dole, no ale dobra. Myślę, że to dobry moment, żeby wrócić do Camp McCarran i zająć się kolejnym questem. Cześć, Shu.
Anders showed up here not too long ago. I'm told you're the one who got him out of the vault. Can't tell you how relieved I am. Sending him on that mission was a mistake.
To był właściwy wybór. Gdyby poszło ich więcej, więcej by zginęło.
That's probably true. but I wonder if I should have taken a different strategy entirely. Although my options were certainly limited, with most of our forces tied up garrisoning this place. Regardless, what you did for Anders isn't something he or any of us around here take lightly. We're all glad to have him back. Thank you.
Okej.
Bye.
Co, gotowi na kolejną kryptę?
A pleasure to meet you. I'm Dr. Thomas Hildern, Director of Operations, OSI East. I presume you're here about Vault 22?
Nie, pierwszy słyszę o krypcie
No,
22.
they wouldn't have briefed you, would they? Probably better that our junior fellows stay within the bounds of their pay grade anyway. Vault 22. Where to begin?
Słucham.
Imagine, if you will, the wasteland in bloom. Vast fields of corn that grow from seeds and produce their bounty in the space of a month. Orchards of trees, their branches weighed halfway to the ground, hung with fat, ripe oranges, a harvest that could feed a city or a nation. And all this, requiring no more than a few drops of precious water and the efforts of only a handful of human farmers. Impossible?
Można tak powiedzieć.
A realist. We have that in common. A year ago, I'd have said the same. But what if I was to tell you that the wasteland can yield an endless bounty, and that the secret may lie a mere few miles from where we stand? We need only reach out and take it, and for that I need you.
Odkrycie naukowe nigdy nie pojawiało się tak po prostu.
Isn't it? One directs one's efforts, or the efforts of others, toward a goal, and progress is made. It's a matter of incentives, nothing more. I believe that the inhabitants of Vault 22 unlock the secrets of vegetative growth. Plants are spilling from their gate. No one tends them, no one waters them. Yet they multiply and spread in all directions. Find the reason for this miraculous growth, and I promise you the OSI will see that you are generously compensated.
Okej, zrobię to.
Good. No need to check in with the NCR authorities. I can authorize your payment from OSI accounts. Vaults typically contain a server room on a lower level, where they would have backed up their research data. A computer room, you understand? Download all the information on the central server to your Pip-Boy, and you'll be certain to bring me any notes or samples that you find, won't you?
Czy jeszcze coś muszę na ten temat wiedzieć?
I thought it was a fairly straightforward assignment. It's a simple question of retrieving the data, which shouldn't prove overly challenging. Downloading the data will be handled by your Pip-Boy. You might think of yourself as a mere means of conveyance. No insult intended, of course.
Dobra. Lecimy. A, ty się już ustawiłaś tak, żeby do nas zagadać.
Did Dr. Hildern... This really isn't any of my business, but
Tak, może zrobić dla niego jakieś dane z krypty 22.
I shouldn't say anything. I know that. But you're not the first person Hildern sent out to the vault. There were a lot of mercs, one after another. None of them came back. Then about a week ago, there was a scientist, Keeley. She's unusual. Not the sort of person you'd expect. And he didn't mention her? Not even her name? Or any of the other mercs?
Nie, Hildern nie wspominał nikogo innego.
But now he's hired you, which means one of two things. Either he heard back from Keeley, and she failed, or he's given up on her. Listen, I make a fair wage, but I'm not rich, not by any means. Maybe my kind of money wouldn't appeal to your average merc, but I'm willing to pay you if you'll find Keeley and make sure she's safe. Isn't right leaving her out there.
Okej,
I had a
poszukamy.
good feeling about you. Moment you walked in. I mean it.
No to chyba musimy pogadać sobie z Hildernem.
Yes? Something else you needed?
Nie jestem pierwszą osobą, którą zdarzyło ci się wysłać do krypty 22, prawda?
I never said you were. You've been speaking to Williams, haven't you?
Tak, owszem, a co za różnica?
Not at all. Informed speculation on my part. Williams is very good at her job, so it remains secure, despite her best efforts. No, you aren't the first person I've sent to the vault. I'm sorry that I neglected to tell you, but I don't see how it makes any difference.
Ile jeszcze osób poszło na twoje zlecenie do krypty?
I'd have to consult my records. 8, 10. Your point is what?
Nie przeszkadza ci, że zginęło przez ciebie 8 czy 10 osób?
I have no evidence that they're dead. 1,000 things could have happened between here and the vault. They could have changed their minds and walked away. I wouldn't be much of a scientist if I leapt to conclusions without proof.
Nie będziemy rozpowiadać, nie będziemy aż tacy. No, lubię wiedzieć, w co się pakuje.
You want certainty? You'll never find it, especially not in the pursuit of science. Take my advice. Forget about Williams. She's a talented researcher, but she doesn't understand people, and she can't see the big picture. Now, I know your time is valuable, so I won't waste any more of it. Feel free to show yourself out.
Krypta 22. Coś mi Pip-Boy zwariował.
Can't run from me.
Nie wchodzić, rośliny zabijają. Sieć Interlab krypty 22. Ochrona głównego wejścia. Uwaga, integralność systemu naruszona. Wykryto nieprawidłowy login. Wyprawa do krypty, wpis 1. Założyłem obóz tymczasowy za wejściem do krypty. Wewnątrz zasilanie jest minimalne, ale wciąż działa. Udało mi się też włamać do jednego z ich terminali ochrony. Wedle archiwów w ostatnich miesiącach mnóstwo ludzi weszło do krypty, ale nikt jej nie opuścił. Robi się późno, więc rano będę kontynuować ekspedycję. Kili bez odbioru. Rozwój wewnętrzny jest identyczny z tym na powierzchni. To trochę zaskakujące, biorąc pod uwagę niewielką ilość światła słonecznego w pomieszczeniu wejściowym. Jeszcze dziwniejsze jest to, że prawdopodobnie pochodzą z niższych poziomów. Może ten dureń Hilder jednak na coś wpadł. Mój Pip-Boy się buntuje, więc postaram się prowadzić dziennik moich odkryć na komputerach, do których będę miał dostęp i zestawię dane, zanim się wyniosę. No proszę. O wiele szybciej.
You're mine.
Trafieni.
Keep looking.
Okej, dobra, tu musimy w ostatecznym rozrachunku dojść. Ale musimy jeszcze znaleźć panią naukowiec. Ona będzie gdzieś tu, jak dobrze pamiętam, tylko muszę znaleźć drogę na dół. Taką, która pozwoli mi bezpiecznie zejść. Ale zejść w sensie, że na dół, a nie zejść w sensie, że z tego świata. Już tu widzę, że za bardzo wyboru nie mamy, musimy skoczyć. No, faktycznie kontrola szkodników.
Company. You're mine. All right.
Kolizja obiektów nie zadziałała.
Took your sweet time. I suppose the NCR sent you?
Tak, Angela Williams prosiła mnie, by cię odnaleźć.
She's such a dear. Not like that pompous little pedant she works for. But that's neither here nor there. These plants have gotten completely out of control. I've got a plan to deal with them, but I'll need your help.
Oczywiście, z przyjemnością pomogę.
Good. Meet me on the second level, and I'll explain what needs to be done.
Dobra. Prowadź, jak stąd wyjść. Kolejna leveluje w The Elder Scrolls. Moje, że Elder Scrolls. Kurczę. Nie kontroluję już języka dzisiaj. Na drugim poziomie mówicie, no dobra.
Good, you're here. Ready to...
Pewnie, jak mogę
Time is
pomóc?
of the essence, so I'll be brief. This place is filled with spores that are toxic to humans, and we need to get rid of them. I've pumped the vault full of a highly flammable gas that, once ignited, should destroy the vast majority of spores. There's one problem, though. The gas becomes semi-inert on exposure to oxygen, meaning the gas will have to be ignited close to where it's being introduced. I need you to find the vents where the gas is being pumped and ignite it. Oh, and survive the resulting blast.
No niebezpieczne, ale pomogę ci.
Good. Return to me when it's done.
Będziemy tu mieli wybór moralny, moi drodzy. Też coś się zawiesiło, bo nie skomentowała tego, że windę naprawiliśmy, no ale... Jak pech, to pech. No właśnie, tu jest gaz. Okej, to nie miało tak być. To nie tak miało być, to nie tak miało wyjść. Dobra, póki i tak tutaj jestem. I teraz musicie mi wybaczyć, bo nie będę się cofał aż do Nowak. No, chyba tam mam te rzeczy. Nie będę się cofał aż do Nowak, żeby to zdobyć. A wiem, że inaczej po prostu sobie nie poradzimy.
I'll watch my step.
Z tego co pamiętam, trzeba wejść bardzo głęboko do tej jaskini i dopiero wtedy odpalać. Więc oby się udało. Wiele to się tu nie zmieniło, to trzeba przyznać. Tu się nadal jakieś drobiażdżki palą. Teraz tak, ona twierdzi, że te rośliny są toksyczne. I mamy potwierdzenie w postaci wielu ludzi, którzy tutaj przyszli i zginęli. Więc chyba trzeba będzie pójść tą ścieżką.
Ah, good. You survived. I was beginning to think you hadn't. You'll be pleased to know that the spores should no longer be a problem. Now all that's left is to ensure that none of this ever happens again. The research that led to these abominations must be erased. I've managed to create a connection to the vault's backup system from here. I just have to remotely delete all the files, and we're done here.
Potrwa to długo?
No, it shouldn't take all that long. Just a few more moments, and that's strange. The system says that the files were accessed recently and copied to an external source. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
W sumie to mam już kopię tych plików. Hildern przysłał mnie po nie.
Yes, that sounds like something he'd do. Well, there's nothing for it then. Those files need to be erased. Hold out your arm and I'll have it done in a flash.
Zniszczenie tych plików zwiększy prawdopodobieństwo, że to zdarzy się ponownie.
How do you figure that?
W nauce nie chodzi tylko o sukcesy. Na porażkach można się nauczyć równie dużo.
I suppose the data here could serve as a warning to other scientists. Tell them what paths of research not to follow.
Dokładnie. Rezygnując z tej wiedzy, ryzykujemy, że coś takiego zdarzy się ponownie.
All right. You convinced me. Take the files back to that buffoon. You make a good point. But I still honestly hope you know what you're doing. I've unlocked the door, so you're free to run along now. Although it pains me to say it, I wouldn't have made it out of here without your help. If you're heading back toward McCarran, tell Dr. Williams that she has my thanks as well.
I zyskaliśmy karmę. Ale w sensie, że dobre zachowanie, a nie w sensie, że Whiskasa. Tak, by the way, bardzo ładne tutaj nawiązanie do pierwszego Bioshocka i do Ogrodu Obfitości. Gatherer's Garden. McCarran Airport, Las Vegas. Swoją drogą lubię oglądać o lore New Vegas i w ogóle Falloutów i ostatnio trafiłem na kanał Krypta TV. Szczerze mówiąc polecam. Facet bardzo fajnie opowiada.
Yes, what is it?
A w sumie nie do ciebie chciałem. Miałem iść tutaj.
Keeley just called in. You should have heard the director. But wait up. Now look here. She wouldn't let him finish a sentence. Just reamed him out for sending all those people to the vault. I've never seen his face so red and twitchy. Thanks for keeping her safe. Here's the caps I promised. Right.
To zrobione, teraz do ciebie.
I received a pleasant call from Dr. Keeley. It seems we have you to thank for keeping her alive. Very charitable of you.
Ma ze sobą dane z krypty 22.
Wonderful. Excellent work. Let me see it. It'll take a moment to decode on my terminal.
Przy okazji nie padło z twojej strony ani jedno słowo ostrzeżenia na temat niebezpieczeństw, które czyhały na mnie w tamtym miejscu.
Didn't I? Did you encounter undue difficulties? Clearly not. All that matters. I think Williams' decryption algorithms seem to be working. Yes, here it is. The data is mostly uncorrupted. This will make the board of directors finally sit up and take notice. Here then, as promised, an agreeable sum payable upon delivery of the data. You've more than done your part.
Ostrożnie z tymi danymi, nie widziałeś tych roślin w krypcie.
Your concerns are perfectly understandable, but I assure you, they're entirely misplaced. We would never use technology that wasn't fully tested. We aren't some motley band of vault alchemists. We're with the government, for goodness sake. Have a little faith in us.
Współpracujecie z rządem, tym bardziej wam nie ufam. Ale przynajmniej mamy nowy poziom. Retoryka na maksa mamy. Otwieranie zamków dajmy już sobie na 90. Coraz bliżej na tego, co chcemy osiągnąć. Teraz się zastanawiam, którego questa w kolejności zrobić, ale tak, pójdźmy sobie do Carrie Boyd. Przesłuchajmy Silusa, a potem całkiem możliwe, że weźmiemy się za rozwiązanie jeszcze kilku problemów w Freeside.
You stick out like a sore thumb around here. You sure you're in the right place?
Potrzebujesz pomocy?
Yeah. So far this has gone exactly as expected. Poorly. But with the work you've done for NCR already, you might be just what I've been looking for. We captured an honest-to-God centurion of Caesar's Legion recently.
Co w tym trudnego?
Better believe it. Everybody in Caesar's Legion from Caesar on down will kill themselves before they can be captured. They're so twitchy they'd probably do it if you reached out to hug them. But here's this guy, who's an elite commander in their army, and he just gives himself up, even as his men are slitting their own throats around him.
Jak sądzisz, co to oznacza?
Well, I don't know about you, but to me that sounds like a man who's willing to cooperate. Except he hasn't. Only times he speaks up are to insult you. He's a real prick, by the way. And I'm supposed to get information out of this guy.
Czemu po prostu nie stłuczesz więźnia do nieprzytomności?
I like the way you think. Have I said that yet? Problem is that the NCR frowns on using that sort of tactic. There are some restrictions still in place from President Tandy's administration. But here's my favorite thing about you. You're not in the NCR. Plus, for all this guy knows, you're completely insane. That's a winning combination.
Więc mam zrobić to, czego ty nie jesteś w stanie?
I think if you rough him up enough and really put some fear into him, he'll sing like a choir boy. So let's do this. When you're ready, I'll go in and give you a little intro. Then I leave the room and you make him regret the day he was born. We go back and forth a couple times until either he talks or he can't move his jaw anymore. Either way, we've had our entertainment for the day.
Okej, zaczynajmy.
That's the spirit. Okay, I'll go in and have a word with him. Then I'll call you in. Long time no see, Silus.
Lieutenant, I was just thinking about you.
That's so.
I was just thinking about that pretty neck of yours.
How sweet.
I was thinking about how it would look with a Legion slave collar on it.
I'll pass.
Do you know what I love about our slave collars, Lieutenant?
If you love them, maybe you should try one on.
I love how tightly they fit. I train my men to make sure the slave's flesh bulges a bit around the top and bottom. Know why?
It's all the rage in fashion circles?
Not quite. If you fit it just right, their body never gets used to the feeling of wearing it. It cuts in just enough when they swallow or turn their head to remind them who they belong to. And it's that constant reminder that keeps them docile.
In that case, maybe you'd better save the collar you were gonna give me.
Oh? For whom?
For a friend of mine you're about to meet. My friend isn't very docile.
And who is this friend of yours?
You know all the rules the NCR instituted to protect enemy prisoners of war?
Of course.
My friend doesn't. Oh, and Silus? If you resist at all, I'll personally blow your brains out. Come on in, he's all yours. I'll be back in a bit to see how you're getting
Oj,
along.
będę dzisiaj bardzo rozmownym
And I'll
człowiekiem.
need you to surrender your weapons before you go in. You can pick them up from the locker on your way out.
What an ugly little worm you are. What pile of excrement did the lieutenant pluck you from, worm?
Chyba coś ci się pomyliło. Z kupą gnoju to ja właśnie rozmawiam.
You must have some reason to be in your line of work. Tell me, what did the Legion do to you? Did we enslave your children? Slaughter your family before your eyes to teach you a lesson? Whatever it was, I hope I was there to give the order.
Musi brakować ci wydawania rozkazów teraz, kiedy wszyscy twoi ludzie nie żyją.
Foot soldiers of the Legion are trained not to have to think for themselves, to have conflict removed from their minds. They kill themselves to evade capture because they are not trusted to make such a decision rationally in the heat of battle. But I'm no foot soldier. I knew I could escape captivity on my own without revealing the tiniest iota of information to my captors.
Myślę, że brakowało ci po prostu jaj, by wykonać rozkaz Cezara.
I'll show you gutless, you sniveling bastard. I'll spill your guts all over this room. Aha!
You're mine.
Whoa, easy there. You're supposed to rough him up a little, not kill him. Why don't you step outside a minute? Let off some steam. Nice job.
Watch out!
I think my friend doesn't like you, Silus. I don't know how much longer I can keep him under control.
You think this'll make me talk? A beating? This is the best you can do?
Not just any beating, Silus. A savage beating. A beating that you'll be reminded of every time you feel pain from now on. When my friend's done with you, you won't have any of your teeth left. You'll be drinking your food through a straw. Your ribs will never heal properly, and it will hurt
I've got
every
nothing.
time you breathe. It'll be like your collars, Silus. Impossible to forget.
Go to hell.
Huh. Not the sort of wit I've come to expect from you, Silus.
You're getting nothing from me.
I'm getting entertainment. That's something. So what's it gonna be? Are you gonna spill your guts to me? Or am I gonna let my friend the maniac back in here for some playtime? Silus. Silent treatment, huh? Have it your way. Come on back in. I think he misses you. Oh, and let me check you for weapons one more time. For your safety as well as his.
You hit like a...
Szczęściarz, kiedy już wybije ci zęby, możesz pożyczyć moją protezę.
It'll take more than that to get me to talk, worm.
You're mine.
You like that?
No co, zaczniesz gadać, bo to już się nudne robi.
Had enough?
Czuję się jak Puzian podczas sławetnej walki z Najmanem. I tam było 40 sekund.
Run from me.
Enough, this is pointless. I'm dead to the Legion either way, I'll tell you what I know. But you should know that Caesar has always kept his own counsel. He never reveals anything that would make him vulnerable. My knowledge will not prevent the inevitable. This camp will be ash within months. maybe weeks.
Ja to osądzę. Usłyszmy więc, co masz do powiedzenia.
Something is wrong with Caesar. Something he is attempting to hide from his men. But it was obvious before we set out on this last mission. For 3 days we awaited his order to dispatch us. 3 days. But he hid in his tent, refusing to give orders, complaining of headaches. He looks different now than he used to. His face is sunken, sickly. But any questioning of his health enrages him.
Musi być coś więcej, co możesz mi przekazać?
There is one other thing that may interest you. I know that Caesar has planted a spy here. Every night, details of NCR troop movements are broadcast from a radio on this base to Caesar's camp. The spy has been here a long time, since before the entire conflict began. He's an officer. If I knew who he was, I would tell you. If I escape and he's alive to report it, the Legion would hunt me down. But like I said, none of this information will change the outcome for you. No force can hold back the tide of the Legion.
Tego to się dowiemy.
That was fun to watch. I'd have you do it again, but I'd probably get in trouble. This'll do the NCR a lot of good, so you should be proud. Here's the standard fee. Plus, I threw in the price of a good show on the strip. That's from me personally. You can beat up my prisoners anytime.
Kim jesteś?
Not big on reading name tags, huh? That's okay. My name is long and difficult to pronounce. Ready for it? It's Boyd. Lieutenant Boyd to my friends. Colonel Shu has me handling the policing duties for the base. I've told him he could make my job a whole lot easier if he would just let me shoot anyone who talks back to me. But you know how colonels can be.
Zaklinam cię. Ale dobrze, zaklinam cię, to sobie zrobimy następnym razem. Trochę już mam dosyć tych wojskowych klimatów, chociaż mamy jeszcze jeden tutaj nieoznakowany quest, który możemy sobie wykonać. Myślę, że nim podążymy teraz.
Did the Colonel send you? I was hoping he might have changed his mind.
Wyglądasz mi na kogoś zmartwionego. Co się stało?
I know. I've been crying. Stupid. I'm supposed to be a soldier. My husband, he's a ranger, and he got murdered by a pack of fiends. Goddamn savages laid his body out to rot. Brass won't say it to me straight, but they mean to leave Esteban out there. I can see that plain.
Dziwne, że ręka nie stara się odzyskać ciała poległego towarzysza.
Colonel says he can't spare the men to bring Esteban back home. And the fiends, they put all kinds of mines and traps around his body. Snipers, too.
Odnajdę się od twojego męża.
Mister, I'd about given up hope. But you've got to be careful. I don't want anybody else dying on my account. Esteban's body is laid out between some of the buildings, east of the Repcon headquarters. At least that's what his squad mates said. There's an NCR position just north of there. It's on the way. They should be able to tell you what the situation is.
Trochę się sypie ta polityka pokazywana przecież tak w filmach amerykańskich. Nie zostawiamy swoich. Więc tak, muszę sobie przypomnieć tego. Tu jest siła główna Repkon. Dobra, to pójdziemy od mrowiska. A po drodze może nas zaatakować Legion. Tak, zapomniałem sobie przepisać sprzęt. Aha. Gra postanowiła się wykrzaczyć. No dobrze, to w takim razie tutaj sobie zakończymy odcinek. Moi drodzy, mam nadzieję, że wam się podobał. Jeżeli tak, zostawcie po sobie kciuka w górę, zostawcie po sobie subskrypcję oraz udrżcie dzwoneczek, jeżeli lubicie moją pracę i chcecie mi pomóc dotrzeć do większej ilości osób. Ode mnie na dzisiaj to tyle. Trzymajcie się ciepło i do następnego. Cześć!